In the new earth, you are limitless, free to create and manifest the future you've always wanted. In other words, we're starting to live in abundance. Seph Dietlin is an angel channel and hypnotherapist. Today, he's sharing what the angels have told him about expansion and how we can thrive in this new world. So, Seph, I want to talk a little bit about living in abundance. Because here in our world now, that's not really a thing for most people, right? That we have a lot of people living paycheck to paycheck, working multiple jobs. So this idea of transitioning to a new world and going from a period of lack to a period of abundance, a lot of people are like, how is that even possible? So how do we live in that state of abundance? How do we do that?
That's a really good question. Now, one of the things that the angels share is that the external effects or our external reality of living in abundance or lack is a direct result of where we are internally. And those that are listening to this or part of this conversation have been on a journey of expanding into their most powerful self. It stands to reason that that internal expansion at some point has a direct result in experiencing the external, in reflecting back that abundance. And of course, this is of concern to a lot of people as well right now, because we're watching a false narrative, though it may be, about one that wants to take the world plunging into a complete lack and scarcity paradigm. And there's no such thing, remembering that it is a false paradigm, remembering that it is a false construct to be in lack, then that's one of our ways that we can allow ourselves to go back into the more expanded part of ourselves so that we're still in expansion. Another thing that bears to be mentioned, Sunny, is that as we're expanding, one of the things that will always come up is some sort of fear of lack and scarcity. Think about when someone's going to, invest their time in a new business or something that's really going to expand for their benefit. The first thing that comes up is concerns about crossing that bridge. We're in a similar pattern right now, if that makes sense. And so to address the concern, it's always a good idea to remember that our external reality, and that includes abundance and financial matters, is always a direct result of our own internal expansion. So by focusing on our internal expansion, we create the external world, because the external world, according to the angels, is pure response, or you could call it like a mirror. And so in much the same way that the mirror is not going to smile first, it only does so as a reflection of us smiling at it. By actually creating expansion, then that is the way that we create that. And buying into the false paradigm or the false narrative of lack and scarcity is a way that we affect, in a way that we don't want to, that internal expansion that can create it to be. Because our personal well-being and our personal finances or our personal abundance isn't at all impacted by what's going on around us, because we create our own reality. And we live in a reality right now where we're able to actually reclaim our sovereignty and create our own reality independent of what the collective narrative is. And especially if we're doing our work, and it should be our play, actually. That's a good redirect that I just got from the angels. But when we're doing our play with consciousness, one of the things that occurs with that is that we get into this space of well-being, and pretty soon we begin to counter any fearful or limiting thoughts or beliefs. And so by getting good at that, we continue that expansion. And the other thing too is actually seeing things in abundance. I remember someone called me for a reading one time, and they were in a legal battle and were going to have to spend some more money. And this spend on the legal expenses was going to take an account down below seven figures. So what would have been remaining was something like 990,000 still. And that person felt like they were in scarcity because their account dipped below $1 million. And see, it's all relative, right? So we can take inventory of what we have and realize that when we have what we need and want, that it's all there. So by being in the present moment, being in inventory that what we have is abundant, and focusing on our internal expansion, then we'll see progress.
The darkness that once held humanity back is now gone, and now the decision to live in abundance is completely up to you. And as Seph said, the more we embrace abundance and expect it, the more we will experience it in our own lives. Seph offers various courses and workshops to empower you to connect directly with your angels. For more information, you can visit our website at unitednetwork.news and click on the New Earth tab at the top of the page.